What up, y'all? It's the King. Welcome to Wayne University. Stay tapped in.
Whole city know Jay Moody.
No, for real. No.
So what up, y'all? I just came in. Hold on, I gotta get my soft, my boot. Hold on. So I just came in from the cigar bar. Went there, made a few connections, but I made one connection that was really a good one for the brand. So not too much. But I just wanted to make a video real quick about showing up as yourself. Hold on, what's in here? Eating too fast. I got the damn mustard sauce in the damn foods, y'all. But yeah, I just wanted to talk to you about showing up as yourself, authentically. You know what I mean? And you know, you probably up and down your timeline, they telling you about manifest this, manifest that, and all these different things, and embodying your higher self and all that type of stuff. Forget all that stuff they tell you about that shit. So with my pivot on the channel with Wayne University, it's really just my authentic journey of like what I've gone through to get to where I am. Not really trying to sell anybody anything or anything like that. I'm really just trying to share what I've learned through this journey. It's been a long journey, but finally I'm starting to get some footing. And the footing is just coming from leverage of who I've always been. So it's not about who you're trying to turn into or who you're trying to fake to be. You know, they say fake it till you make it. And I had to learn real straight up that as long as you fake it, you're going to continue to be the person that you're trying to fake to be. The only person that can get you to everything that is within your purpose is yourself. So it's funny because I went to my favorite cigar spot. Crazy. Never seen the owner there a day in my life. And the day I just kind of had a day. Just was like, what the fuck? I'm trying everything. Shit's not moving. The video's not getting watched. Nobody's buying the merch. But I know my value is not in that. Although it's something that you physically see, so it affects you. You know what I mean? Like, we all human. I'd be lying if I said that the fact that the videos don't get the views that I want don't affect me, or the fact that nobody's buying the merch doesn't affect me. It does. I do think about these things. But I was thinking about it from a place of like, I feel like I need these things to be, you know, moving a certain way for things to, you know, I guess, solidify who I am. Like, I need for y'all to watch my videos. I need for y'all to buy my merch for me to be the person that I am. And it was funny because I just had this crazy back and forth with ChatGPT. Yeah, I talked to my ChatGPT. I named her and everything. I talked to her. And it's funny because they may say the ChatGPT is, you know, it's an AI. So AI don't know what a human's going through, what they deal with, the different emotions and things of that nature. It just kind of gives you what it's been programmed to give you. Excuse me, y'all. What it's been programmed to give you, right? So today I kind of just had it with, like, you know, you just talk a whole bunch of shit. You don't know what the fuck you're talking about. All that type of stuff. So I really needed to take a pause and kind of just blocked everything out today. And so told myself I'm gonna go to my cigar spot. And literally I went, and it's two people. They usually like work at the door. Like, you know, when you want to buy a cigar, they'll check you out, and you know, they greet you when you come in. But today, I walk in, and I already had a cigar. I had a cigar from another spot that I like to go to. And I walked in, my cigar was already in my mouth. It wasn't lit yet, but it was already in my mouth, and I just walked in. As I walk in, I go sit down with a couple of my colleagues. We sit and they talking, game on, light my cigar, and I sit there for a minute. And this short white guy with this hat on comes up to me. He's very respectful, you know, but he asked me, he's like, you know you gotta buy a cigar when you come in here. And I'm like, you know, I'm starting to think in my ways like, what? But it was like, no. So I listened to him. I was like, no. I was like, I come here all the time. I always buy cigars, whatever, what have you. And I was like, I'll make sure I'm gonna get one. So, you know, while I'm smoking my cigar, I walk to the front, and I actually bend down. He goes to sit back in his seat. He's talking to a couple guys. He goes to sit back in his seat. And I start talking to him. And I'm like, yeah, I always come here. I always get 2 or 3 cigars whenever I'm here. I'm about to actually get one now, you know. He was like, you know, I'm just trying to check. Because we don't know, sometimes it's hard to keep track of who comes in and, you know, but you have to purchase at least one cigar to be in here. Something I already knew, but you know, I'd never seen this guy before, right? So, you know, I went in, bought my cigar, walked back to the seat, you know, I introduced myself when I went back that time, whatever. You know, he said, it's a pleasure to meet you, all that good stuff. Mind you, I'm just showing up as myself. No flash, no flare, just me. So I go back to my seat. And so I'm talking to my guys, and they were like, well, what was that about? And I was like, nothing. He just told me I had to buy a cigar, blah, 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 this, that, and the third. I was like, oh, yeah. So then I asked my one guy, I said, who is that? He was like, this the owner. I'm like, oh, shit. Man, just the owner of the establishment came up to me, just to whisper in my ear. And I just was like, wow, that kind of spoke a little volume to me. So I decided to get up one more time and go speak to him. So I went back over. I extended my hand for a handshake. I said, what'd you say your name was? He told me his name again. I told him my name more formally. I said, you got a card? He said, absolutely. Pulled his card out, gave it to me. And, you know, I let him know, because he was like, you know, what is it that you do? And I was like, you know, I do content. He was like, funny enough, me and my son, because it's the son and the father. He's the father. They own this cigar brand, and it's a couple locations. It's not just the one. Pretty high-end cigar spot. He was like, you know, me and my son were actually just discussing how we want to start to spread more awareness about our place. And I'm like, well, that's interesting because that's my area of expertise. You know, I've worked with different artists and things of that nature. Blah, blah, blah. Not over-explaining, just, you know, kind of having small talk with him. So we chit-chatted. Very short conversation. But at the end of the conversation, he was like, well, it's great to meet you. I look forward to talking to you. No, I said to him, I said, well, you know, I'm going to circle back with you at the beginning of the week. You know, it's Thursday, so we'll get through the weekend. And then I'll give you a call like Monday or Tuesday. I was like, I'll contact you Monday or Tuesday. So he had already given me the card. So he reaches out to shake my hand again. He was like, it's very great to meet you. But I was like, blah. And he said, when you call, he said, make sure you use the number, not the email. You know, make it more personal. So he's really telling me, call me, right? Mind you, just a simple fucking interaction, yo. The simplest interaction with a billionaire. I didn't show up saying I got this many followers, none of that stuff. I got an Audemars watch on, I drive a Range Rover, none of that stuff. Just me. It was literally the first time I showed up as me in a long time. And it really resonated because he recognized it. And it's crazy because I've had so many different opportunities over the last couple months. I had another cigar spot that I was not in bed with, but, you know, trying to work a deal with. And I was trying to sell myself versus being myself. You know what I mean? Like just showing up as who I am as a person. Mind you, that just wasn't the vibe today. Today, I just kind of got to the point where it was like, fuck it. Like, it is what it is. You either take it or leave it. And it wasn't like in a bad way. It just was like, I've put the work in. Like, I've literally put the fucking work in for years and years and years and years. I've done so many things, tried so many things, failed at so many things, like so many fucking things. And that's what Wayne University is really about. It's about showing how through my failures, I succeed. And it's funny that tonight everything worked out the way that it did. I couldn't have like scripted it any better for me to meet this guy on a day. I was having like a day where I was like, I'm just at the end of my rope with all this shit. Like, I don't know what to do now. And I feel like the ability to, or the inability to show up was through like me trying to perform to show like I'm worthy when it was like, I'm already worthy. Like I already know this. Like I already know this within myself, deep within my gut. So, that really showed through and through. And it was funny because when I was leaving, you know, the place closes at 9 o'clock. So They got a member section. I'm not a member, but they got a member section. The members can stay after 9, but 9, everybody usually roll out, whatever. It's like 8:50, I get up, say peace to my fellas. And as I'm walking out, him and just 2 employees are sitting at the front with a couple of his colleagues, and they still chatting it up. I say, all right, fellas, I see y'all next time around. I'm talking to the employees because I know these guys. And the owner guy says to me, nice to meet you, Jason. I really look forward to talking to you. And I really had to think about that for a second, right? That's the part that through all these manifestation videos that might pop up on your algorithm and all these, posts that you see, because your algorithm is really going to feed you what you look for. And if you look to tell yourself you are who you are, it's going to tell you that all day. But without action, whether it's the littlest action, and trust me, it's frustrating because I know what I'm worth. So what I'm worth, it pushes me from doing anything that's regular. Like, I'm just not. Like, I always own my own business. Never had a job. I had a job once, but it's just not me. Like, I could never be comfortable, and I understand it's not my purpose to do things that don't serve me, to then in turn serve you guys, the people who watch and the people who I, aspire to inspire, right? But this is the part they don't tell you, is really just understanding that the whole time you were the key. The whole fucking time. Like, the whole fucking time. Even when you were broken, even when you didn't understand things, even when you were going through the worst heartbreaks and pain and the things that you just thought would break you, and life has a way of making you feel like it's against you. Trust me, I've been there, y'all. Been there for real. That's why I can have these conversations. So that's what the pivot is really about. That you get to see the transformation in real time this time. Not me just talking about all the things I went through that have been bad and all that type of stuff. Yeah, that was cool. It was what it was. But I understand people want solutions. So that's what I've been trying to figure out, how to give the solutions. So this is the beginning. The pivot was where it started. You can always go back through the old videos and see what I've been through, but that's not even really the important part right now. That's part of the story, but this is the part where doors start opening. Not because I expect them to, not because I'm trying to force them to, but it's just because I'm me now. Like, I'm showing up as me. And that's the key to this. Show up as you. And it don't take for you to show up as you in this grand way. You don't have to show up with all the bells and whistles already. I heard a quote one time. It was something random I heard on the internet. It was like, it's easy for a man to show up and all his bravado when he's driving a Lamborghini or he got $1 million in the bank. But it shows you who a man really is when he can show up when he doesn't have any of that stuff. And this is what y'all getting. I'm not here trying to fake it or none of that stuff. That's the reason why I got off social media, because on there I felt like I was performing. I felt like I was, and I was being as vulnerable as I possibly can, but it was still a part of me that was like feeling like I was tap dancing. And I don't want to do that. I don't want to do that. The goal is to inspire. That's my purpose, is to show people you can make it out of anything. And I'm going to show y'all in real time. Y'all gonna get the content how I give it. Whether it be sitting at the table eating dinner, doing something that's extravagant, don't matter. I'm gonna give y'all this content. And I'm gonna show y'all ain't gotta be dressed up for the ball to get there. You don't. And trust me, this ain't about what I got. Because the material shit don't matter. It's about who you are. So, stay tuned. Stay locked in. Because it's about to get funny. Y'all about to see some amazing shit. Wayne University.
Whole city know Jay Moody.
No, for real, though.